Gentleman from Massachusetts recognized.
Speaker, we're here talking about a major veterans bill, and the gentleman couldn't even bring himself to mention veterans once in his statement. And to the gentleman from Pennsylvania about talking about taking all cars off the road, who's talking about that? I will tell the gentleman that if we go ahead with what he wants to do in the Keystone Pipeline, that's equivalent to adding another 5 million cars on the road. I mean, that's what that would mean to our environment. But, you know, my Republican friends, if they want to think small when it comes to veterans, have at it. Veterans organizations are watching. We're hearing from veterans all across the country who want this bill passed. They want us to pass this comprehensive bill. We will do that. If you want to do your minuscule bill, you have a substitute. You can vote for it. It's in your substitute. We want to actually do something in a comprehensive way to meet the concerns that our veterans have expressed for years and years and years. If you want to take a pass, go ahead. That's what you do on most important issues. This probably is no exception. With that, I yield 2 minutes to the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Price.
Gentleman's recognized.
Mr. Chair, I rise in support of the rule for the Honoring Our PACT Act, which includes the Camp Lejeune Justice Act. This legislation would allow Marines and their families who were exposed to contaminated drinking water at Camp Lejeune over 34 years of neglect and denial, finally to pursue their long overdue day in court. Toxicity rates in Camp Lejeune's water were staggering. They ranged from 240 to 3,400 times what is permitted by today's national safety standards. This greatly increased the risk of cancers, adverse birth outcomes, and other medical tragedies. And now many veterans and their families are suffering from no legal recourse. The Camp Lejeune Justice Act will correct an anomaly in North Carolina law by providing a legal pathway for affected veterans and their families to pursue fair compensation, which would already be permitted had their exposure occurred anywhere else except the state of North Carolina. Today's effort is a culmination of the decades-long bipartisan campaign to provide service members affected an opportunity for justice long deferred, first by Congressman Brad Miller and Senator Burr, as well as the late Congressman Walter Jones. I'm also grateful for the tireless advocacy of the affected Marines and their families, the sustained efforts of diverse groups of supporters, and my congressional colleagues, including the bill's sponsors, Congressman Matt Cartwright and Greg Murphy. I urge the adoption of the rule for this Honoring Our PACT Act, and with it the adoption of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act, a critical step to honor the promises we've made our veterans.
Gentleman reserves.